Hey everyone, this is the Mana Source, my name is Wedge, Theros is coming, and we're going to be bringing you spoilers regularly from here on out. But we've already covered the spoilers that are out now, so we thought it would be a good idea to catch you up on what we know about the story of Theros. Let's talk lore. As you probably know, the next block in Magic the Gathering begins with the set Theros, named after the plane itself. The storyline of Theros evokes everything that is Greek mythology. In layman's terms, if you took ancient Greece, made their gods real, and expanded that world to cover an entire plane, you would have Theros. The land of Nyx, mentioned in the third set's title, Journey into Nyx, is basically Theros' Olympus. This is where the gods live, and you are said to visit when you're sleeping, creating dreams. It has been emphasized a lot that enchantments are a huge part of this block. The lore supports this wholeheartedly by saying that enchantments are magic of the gods. They refer to the gods as living enchantments, so any type of enchantment is automatically thought of as being a gift from the gods. It is also important that this type of magic is created through divinity only. Mechanically speaking, it means we're likely to see the enchantment card type combined with many other card types on cards associated with the gods. All of the gods are said to have an ability to appear to mortals. As they do this, they appear infused with Nyx itself. This gives them an appearance akin to the night sky. This is what makes it possible for them to communicate with mortals. This could be a keyword that comes back. In addition, the creature type nymph is mentioned as also having a similar ability, fitting their role as messengers of the gods. Without further ado, let's get to the gods. The first god mentioned is Heliod, god of the sun. Believed to be the Zeus counterpart in Theros, Heliod reigns over all things involving law, justice, retribution, and kinship. He is most often sacrificed to when people are in dire straits or in need of great justice. Heliod is the god that literally brings the light to Theros, so pretty much everyone pays some type of respect to him. His signature item or weapon is called Crucer, the Sun Spear. This has the ability to be sent down from the Nyx to any place in Theros. The legends around this weapon say that Heliod used it to destroy an entire metropolis and send it into the sea. The next god is Thassa, god of the sea. In addition to the sea itself, she reigns over all aquatic creatures and whatever else lies deep in the water. She is also known as the god of long voyages, journeys, ancient knowledge, and the passage of time. Thassa is a god who is seemingly never happy with the present. Using the power of water, she constantly alters landscapes, hoping to cause long-term change in Theros. It is also important to note that although she has a lot of patience, if brought to a place of real anger, she has been known to destroy entire villages on a whim. Those that worship her are Tritons, which appear to be Theros' native merfolk, and humans of Meletis. In addition, anyone else who goes out to sea for any reason pays respect to Thassa. Her weapon is named Decala. Using this bident, she can manipulate the water in any way she sees fit. Legends say that someone actually stole Decala once to decimate an entire fleet of enemy ships. As punishment, Thassa turned his whole family into eels. The next god is Erebos, god of the underworld. Erebos was created from the first shadow that was cast from Heliod's blinding light. Fearing the shadow, Heliod exiled it beyond the rivers that ring the world. These are 5 rivers that form a dimensional boundary between Theros and the underworld. After being exiled, the shadow slowly became Erebos. He primarily rules over the underworld and death, but is also the god of misfortune, envy, bitterness, and ill fate. He has a pretty complex personality. He envies the sunlit world, but at the same time knows that every mortal will eventually be with him, which brings him a feeling of satisfaction. Erebos does find peace in the death of mortals, but not happiness. The arrival of mortals to his world allow them to identify more closely with him. There are 3 different groups of mortals that worship Erebos. The first are those that worship death. They are dangerous because their main goal is to start a war between Heliod and Erebos. The second group is one that cares about wealth more than anything. Since they know they leave their wealth behind, Erebos has become affiliated with that accumulated wealth of the deceased. The third group is the one most beloved to him. It is those that have been cast out from their respective societies and are actively seeking peace with their fate. Yeah, he can relate. Erebos' weapon is the golden-handled whip, Mastix. The whip is incredibly long, creating a shadow that seemingly goes on forever. While he uses the whip to inflict pain, Its more common usage is to drag the reluctant dead to the underworld. Fross, god of the forge, is just that. He reigns over the forge, earth, and fire. He also rules over heat and energy. This energy he emanates becomes chaos to be wielded by labor. In addition, he is the god of artisans and the cycle of creation and destruction. Fross is the ultimate artist. His entire personality is dependent on his creative motivation. He can be reasonable at times, but if there is something he wants to complete, he'll coat an entire area in lava to complete it. His main weakness is frustration, knowing that there is more to the mortal world than what he has discovered with his forge. This leads to sudden outbursts of anger and destruction. His weapon is a large hammer called Akmon. This hammer has the ability to create molten earth with a single blow. The most important ability of this hammer is triggered whenever it strikes metal. To quote Wizards of the Coast, when it strikes metal, each spark becomes a new enchantment, some of which even take on life. Maybe if young Pyromancer knew his real father, he'd stop setting things on fire all the time. Family's important. The last god we're going to talk about is Niliya, god of the hunt. She presides over the seasons and forests as well. Because of her association with the seasons, she is also known as the god of metamorphosis and rebirth. She is known as being thoughtful, playful, and joyful, especially when surrounded by her animal companions. Preferring to never deal with humans, she lives mainly in her forests, actively preventing humans from spreading too far into the wild. When humans do go too far, she calls on Fross to burn an entire area away to stop them. Unlike the other gods, Niliya hates temples and worship in general. She would rather bless someone for showing kindness or giving protection to creatures. People do try to make sacrifices to her, but since she is so hard to please, they could just as likely anger her as appease her. Niliya's weapon is the short bow of Fixus. She uses her bow for two things. First, she does hunt, but only for predation, never for sport. Second, she uses her powers to kill poachers who are in the Nistos forest without her blessing to hunt. We hope this first look got you more excited about Theros. The story seems deep and rich in detail. As soon as part 2 comes out, we will have a video summary up, so keep a lookout for that. Subscribe below for all the Theros spoilers, story information, and future giveaways you could ever want. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.